Cleveland Browns have done a solid job this NFL offseason, and they're coming off making another signature move. The Browns traded for edge rusher za'darius Smith. Za'Darius Smith has put a new edge on Cleveland's offseason defensive makeover. The three-time Pro Bowler pass rusher officially joined the Browns on Tuesday after the team agreed last week to acquire him from Minnesota in exchange for fifth-round draft picks in 2024 and 2025. Smith's arrival in a deal that seemed to come out of nowhere provides an exclamation point to the Browns' defensive line overhaul the past few months. So we're going to talk about this and why I think the Cleveland Browns are going to be a very good football team this season. Guys, if you do me a favor, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Browns and NFL content just like this. This is your place for all things football throughout the offseason and the season, of course. So through free agency, the draft, and in trading for Smith, one of 5 players to get 10 sacks in 3 of the past 4 seasons, the Browns have given new defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz more weapons up front and help for All-Pro end Myles Garrett, who had to carry most of the load. It's a very good move by Browns general manager Andrew Berry, who didn't give up much to get a proven player capable of dominating. And Smith will now, of course, be reunited with defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson, his former Vikings teammate, who did sign a 4-year, $57 million contract in March with the Browns. The Browns also signed Okoronkwo, who had 5 sacks with Houston last season, and drafted Baylor defensive tackle Siaki Ika and Missouri defensive end Isaiah McGuire. All those pieces will strengthen a defensive line that struggled last season. The trade also underscores Cleveland's urgency to win right now following a 7-10 season shaped by quarterback Deshaun Watson's 11-game NFL suspension. The Browns, they can't waste any more time, and Barry, he knew that. He was aggressive this offseason in addressing the team's most pressing needs. With Smith and Garrett flanking Schwartz D-line, Cleveland may be more aggressive in getting after the quarterback. The Browns had 34 sacks last season, 16 by Garrett, and didn't create nearly enough pressure. Smith should help change that. The 30-year-old had 10 sacks in 2022, his only season with the Vikings, and had 54.5 career sacks since breaking in with Baltimore in 2015. He's returning to the AFC North, where the Browns have to deal with Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson twice each year. The Browns didn't have to make a huge investment in Smith, as the Vikings are paying part of his $11.75 million contract in 2023. But in adding another major piece to its roster, Cleveland signaled it's ready to compete for a conference title right now. These aren't the same old Cleveland Browns that you can just push over. Cleveland will mean business this upcoming season. And the Browns weren't done there. They added depth to their secondary as they signed Chris Westry. The 6'7" Westry was originally signed by Dallas in 2019. He played 2 games for the Cowboys and 6 with the Ravens in 2021. Another point I want to make of why I think the Browns are actually in a really good position this coming season is the schedule will not have the Browns traveling so much. As according to Adam Schefter, the Browns are not going to have to travel a lot this year unless something major changes mid-season. The Browns are just 24th in expected miles travel, and that's huge. Like, you might be hearing that and saying, like, Luca, what does that have to do with anything? Traveling takes a toll on you game after game, especially in the NFL where it's so grueling and you got to recover adequately game to game. That is why they, have a week in between games. So the Browns not having to travel a lot is actually a huge factor to take into consideration here. I mean, rest is important, especially in football, and you can't really rest if you're traveling all over the place, and it's even harder to do things like ice therapy when you're on a cramped plane. So from that standpoint, the Browns are going to have plenty of opportunities for rest and rehabilitation after games, which will be crucial to minimizing injuries. And this easy travel schedule will hopefully give the Browns the very best option possible to get their best football team out there on the field each and every week. So I think that's a huge component here, that the Browns are not going to have to travel a lot. They got a new team. They got, all these new pieces, and they are expected to win. Like I mentioned, the Cleveland Browns, there is no more waiting for this team. They have to win now. They've gone all in. They've made some good moves on both sides of the ball. This Cleveland team, they're going to be in a stacked division, a stacked conference, but they can surprise a lot of people, and they can make things interesting. And their schedule just came out, by the way, as obviously Cleveland Browns fans would know. But yeah, I was looking at their schedule, and I think the best case scenario sees the Browns going 11-6. I mean, I can really see the Browns stepping it up a notch and getting a record like that, which would put them in position for a wild card spot. This is assuming the Browns can outpace opposing offenses with their play, of course, and if their defense is a lot better. The key is going to be Deshaun Watson. Watson needs to be the Deshaun Watson of old, because if he falls off, this is going to completely destroy the Browns' chances. But if Deshaun Watson can play well, I mean, I can see the Browns winning a lot of these games and maybe even upset a Seattle team as well. So I think that the Cleveland Browns have put themselves in an ideal position moving forward here to be a wild card team, be in that hunt, be in that race, give themselves a chance to make the playoffs. And it's about time Cleveland gets some success, right? Because we've seen it before. Cleveland, they have good off seasons. They are highly touted. People are overhyping them, this and that, and then they don't live up to those expectations. But I really hope that this season's different for the Browns, and I do have a feeling that the Browns are going to be a lot better than a season ago. So we're going to see how the Browns look, but obviously they have done the necessary things they needed to do this offseason via free agency, via the draft. Now it's up to the players and the personnel to get it done. So we will see how the Browns look, but I think the Browns are about to send the NFL a message with how they're about to play. And, I mean, they are sending the NFL a message already with all these moves. They're not playing around anymore. The Cleveland Browns, they mean business, and they want to show the world that they do, in fact, belong, not only in their division, but in the NFL as a whole. So let me know what your thoughts have been on this Browns offseason. Browns fans, hit a like on the video, thumbs up a ton. Please subscribe to the channel for more Browns and NFL content just like this. We'll see how the Browns fare during this NFL season. Expect more Browns content on this channel as well. Let me know your full thoughts down below. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next video.